And I just I love the combo of our speakers today because Melanie went through this burnout experience and had like found healing and is now sharing it. And Dr. Tayo, I know you not didn't go through burnout, but you went through quite a menopause. Like, whoa, some of us have some symptoms, some of us have a lot of symptoms, and yours hit you hard. So really what I'm excited to hear, your business is all about get your sassy back. So kind of like maybe we can hear about how you lost the sassy and what you do now, what you learned from that, and that you teach your clients to get it back. I remember you had like 5 core things that we can focus on that were just a great way of framing it. So would love to hear about all of that.
Okay, well, like most women, and like I said, I'm so embarrassed to say it, that even though I was medically trained, I'm a physician, as well as went through, all the bits and pieces. It was until I got that hot flush, which wasn't even a hot flush. It was cold and it was a flush and it was limited. Did I realize, oh my gosh, this must be menopause, which is what it was called, including perimenopause. It wasn't until then, but before then, I'd been exhausted. I couldn't sleep. And I used to sleep to wake the dead before. I couldn't sleep and I was putting on weight. And as a very slim person when I was younger, I tried everything and it wasn't working. And I couldn't figure out why. So by the time that hot flush hit, it was like, oh, okay. And my first instinct was, oh my gosh, a bad thing. This is the end of life as I know it, because it's like downhill all the way. I'm thinking, no, but I can't afford to do that. No, absolutely frigging not. So I went to my gynae, which I found, luckily, and put me on the conventional hormone treatment. But after 7 months, I was still not sleeping well, still feeling, exhausted, still feeling and the thing about exhaustion is that I was just working longer hours just to keep up. And I was investing myself of activities that didn't, keep me at work and having an income of some sort. So then I said, there has to be some other way. This isn't working. I still took it. I took hormone treatment for 5 years. I still took it. But I said, this isn't working. So I started diving deep. And the great thing is that at least I got the discipline of my medical training for research and for testing. Does this work? And I tried everything. I tried acupuncture. I tried homeopathy. I tried all kinds, acupressure, energy healing, you name it. I tried it. So then I came across some statistics. And the statistics were about, the first one that I remember vividly was about weight gain and the size of your brain, saying that the higher your weight, your brain shrunk more. And I'm thinking, oh God, no, I am not prepared for that. So if the more weight you put on, your brain shrinks. And I thought, no, we got to do something about that. So I started looking at my diet. But for my sleep, then I came across a few things that were putting me through good sleep habits. And as I was practicing them, I was feeling better. Not fantastically better, but better. Then when I got to 5 years, I spoke to a colleague, and this colleague said, that dose you're on is too high. Because as we progressed, I was getting on higher and higher doses to see if we could control it. And I wasn't paying attention. I was just taking it like, a normal patient would. And he said, it was a he. At that time, I had no compunctions about sharing whatever I was going through with anybody. And he was the emergency room physician and said, that dose is way too high. So it got tailed off. And the strangest thing happened. My improvements started coming leaps and bounds. And it was like that hormone treatment had put a lid on the improvements that happened. And I was now sleeping much better. I got my vitality back, my energy. I was losing weight, all this extra, the belly fat that you accumulate out just around your sides and middle. I used to have joint pains, which I kind of like tried to do. Now the joint pains went away. So all of a sudden it was, and by the time I kept on into it because I had something I wanted to do, I was holding down the equivalent of 2 jobs at the same time. And I was still full of energy. People were asking, how the heck do you do that? So that is it in a nutshell.
And then, and it sounds like, right, I mean, just taking a moment to acknowledge that, because that, I mean, and like so many viewers out there, just like naming the journey, right, of the trials of perimenopause and the physical challenges, just, literally like what happens in other kinds of rites of passages. Just naming that, because yours were not insignificant, Dr. Tayo. So just recognizing that for you, and then for everyone else who's having challenging experiences. And then I know that you found, I mean, it sounds like, right, you were inspired by all of that to like dig deeper and to look and see what worked for you. And I remember you mentioning that you have like 5 areas that you have your clients focus on. So curious to know, like, if you can share those with us.
We know that, unfortunately, the main hormone that everybody talks about, which is estrogen, when it declines, your aging accelerates. So a lot of what you experience during menopause is aging increase at a faster rate, which is why there are twice as many women as men who suffer from dementia, which is why you have all you look into a nursing home, you see mostly women, because all the men have either died off earlier, but much more, not having long periods of low quality of life. So the women they suffer from all these chronic diseases, which do not afflict the men. And we have brain scan studies to show it. So, and they have now shown that longevity, only about 7% is related to your genes. The vast majority of your longevity and how you'll fare in terms of your quality of life is going to be lifestyle factors. And since we know that chronic diseases, that aging is due to chronic diseases, that happens after menopause, the process of aging is like rusting in a car. It's literally your body falling apart, but it goes on faster. So we look at what goes on faster. And when you look at what goes on faster, most of the time it's to do with the major lifestyle changes. Sleep, you're not sleeping quite as well. Your nutrition, so that you have optimal body weight. You need muscles in your body, because muscles have a very, very strong correlation with longevity. So we have movement. And you have your brain health, because about 80% of the symptoms of menopause are due to brain changes. 80%. Because the brain is an energy hog. So if you don't have energy, guess what? The brain lets go of the energy, and you wonder why you have brain fog. And then, of course, there is what I call Zen inner calm, which is essentially stress reduction, because we know what stress does for you. It accelerates all the other processes put together. It makes them worse. So I put them together, and I call them your 5 superpowers, because usually you need all of them. But usually there's one you maybe start with to knock the domino over. And usually there's one that is probably the most important thing, that you know that if you do this, I'm golden. The other ones I can tweak. And it's just a tweak of the various things to get you to sleep better, to eat better, to move more in consonance with what you need, so that you build muscle. It's also your brain health, which we know that, your brain health is very important. That is when it's during sleep that your brain gets refurbished, that you develop new neural pathways. It also involves your body. You go through a wash cycle as you sleep, because it allows it to toss out the bad cells, repair some of the others. And then, of course, stress, because if you're tossing and turning, you can't get to sleep. A lot of that is due to stress. So we put a lot of that together in a strategic manner. And when you do them in a strategic manner, in a short time frame, the results become compounded. They're not additive, they're compounded. So all of a sudden, 5 times 5 times 5 doesn't become 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. And if you do 5 times 5 times 5, it's 125. Those are the kind of compound interest effects you get.
So we've got, nutrition, sleep, brain health, movement. That was the one, movement. And then
exercise. And I don't call it exercise, because most people just think exercise. There's a bit more to movement than just physical exercise. When you fall down, can you get off the floor?
Yeah.
So the determinants of how healthy and how long you're going to live.
Yeah. So, sleep, nutrition, movement,
brain health,
brain health. Like my brain is not
Brain health and stress reduction or Zen. So
stress
you can be,
reduction. Okay.
don't have a Zen monk to have the strategies to cope with, stress and be calm.
Yeah, I think what I want to end with is just highlighting for our viewers. I love that you describe it as there's these 5 areas, but you find the one to pull on first, and the others tend to then
Domino.
fall in
Yes, it's
place.
a
Yeah.
domino. Others tend to fall in line. Yes.
Yeah, that's a great way because it's funny, right? It can feel like a lot to think of those 5 areas, but if you identify the one to focus in on, then the other ones are more likely to fall into place as well. Yeah, I love that.
And it's a matter of small tweaks. We're not asking for large things. The thing is that with when they say small hinges,
Yeah.
big doors, what is the hinge? And the hinges are different for different women. And if you find the right hinge and you move that door, there's also the motivation. Oh my gosh, that door's moved, and it moves the next one. Momentum, momentum, momentum.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Oh, Dr. Tayo, thank you for your story, for naming just what so many are experiencing, having challenges physically, and then for giving us that vision of, right, you can research and learn your way and have guides to guide you to get to a different place. Yeah. Thank you so
All
much.
natural. Yeah, because it's a lifestyle, it's 100% natural, hormone free.
Yeah. Which is such a, we have doctors who talk about how hormones are exactly the thing. And some women I know are taking them and it's great for them. And then we also have like others, it's like, that wasn't my path. So if you are someone who's watching and you want to like discover if it's your path to not do hormones and to do it a different way, Dr. Tayo has information. So yeah, so beautiful. How can they stay connected to you, Dr. Tayo?
Well, the main thing would be to go to my website. It is called getyoursassyback.com, because the whole idea is you want to get your vitality back. You really want to get moving and jiving. You want to engage with life, have vitality, have energy, the things you want to do. So it's called getyoursassyback.com, GETYOURSASSYBACK.com. And on the page, there are a couple of things. One, there's a quiz, which you can take as a menopause quiz. And 2, there's a booking calendar if you just want to speak to me for a quick 15-minute call, so we can see what we can help you with. But what I would also encourage people to do in terms of moving to that website is that I'm coming up with a few very interesting things that will, even without no payment, free, you can engage and get some really specific information. And the only way they'll find that out is by engaging with me, so that when it comes out, I'll send them emails about it.
And there are links down below that you can just click on to stay connected to Dr. Tayo in that way. Thank you so much, Dr. Tayo.